What's up, guys? It's your buddy 5 Bar Doom, and I was just wanting to make a short video about kind of just staying cool and composed throughout the tournament weekend. So TKO is coming up. I'm going. I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. I haven't played a big tournament in a while, and anytime you're going to a tournament, you have a lot of big expectations for yourself. Oh, I'm going to win this tournament. I could do this. I could do that. The reality is, for the vast majority of us going to the tournament, it's going to be a disappointment. You know what I mean? Like, it just sort of is what it is. Like, even if you get like second or third in a tournament, you're like, oh, I could have got to the final, or I could have won that tournament. You know what I mean? And there's going to be a lot of us too where you don't even get close to winning the tournament, right? But throughout the weekend, you're going to have little victories along the way, most likely. You know what I mean? Like, even if you don't get super deep in a tournament, maybe you beat a team that's really good. Maybe you're an amateur and you beat a pro in pro singles. You know what I mean? For me, I'd love to beat a pro master in open singles. I'd love to do more than that, but, if I did that, that's also a win. So I think the flip side of that coin is you go into the weekend with all these big expectations, and you lose a match, and it can really affect you mentally. And if you're going to a tournament where it's like a 3 or 4 day tournament, you really got to try to fight off those negative emotions as best you can. And I think like some things you can do to do that are one, kind of just having realistic expectations for the weekend. It's like you can't really have expectations for your results. I think the best you can really do is your expectation should be to play as well as you can throughout the weekend. And and what does that mean, play well? It's like, well, I lost these matches, so I didn't play well. It's like, well, it's not really a good way to evaluate how you're doing. I think a good way to think about it is like, for one example, like, are you sticking with your strategy? For me, drop, pass, do my brush pass, try to do like, check 3-4 times, basically bounce the ball back and forth, try to hover, bounce it back, hover, bounce it back, hover. That's like one aspect of it. For me, on my 3-bar, stick with my roller, try to take a lot of time on my 3-bar possessions, try to set up the ball quickly and take, and make the goalie work a lot on the 3-bar. On the 2-bar, kind of same thing, really try to read the D, take a decent amount of time, wait, see if I can, maybe move the ball back and forth a couple times, really try to see if I'm, really try to work it to where the defense has to work a lot, and try to pick some holes and execute out of the back. On my defense, stay aggressive, really try to dig balls out, just work hard at being aggressive in the back and not letting anything easy in. Taking timeouts, it's like if you start feeling getting frustrated, if maybe your opponents you get a few points in a row, you take a timeout. If it's a big point, you get it on your 3-bar and you're about to shoot, maybe you just take a timeout, take some deep breaths. And like, for you, the things might be different, but I think it's good to have some kind of strategy going into these matches, and just like mentally, you know what I mean? Because your execution is going to be your execution, you know what I mean? It's like, obviously, you want to shoot the ball super fast, and you want it to be like dead bar when you go long. Of course, we all want that, you know what I mean? You want to hit a steep up brush, you want to hit it hard, you want to catch it perfectly, you want to set the ball up quickly, you want your defense to be perfect, all these things. But that's not going to be the case for everybody. But we basically just have to try as hard as we can, and then over the course of this weekend, you're going to play multiple tournaments too. For me, I'm playing expert doubles, pro doubles, open doubles, pro singles, open singles, and maybe some other ones as well. And any of those tournaments could go really well or it could go really poorly. But whether or not I do well in open singles, I still have to try to perform well in pro singles. Whether or not I do good in open doubles, I still have to try to do well in expert doubles. And those tournaments don't have anything to do with each other. But I think, early in the weekend, if you do take some losses, whether you just get beat down, 5-0, 5-1, or it goes to match point and you lose, either way, it's going to hurt. And you're going to look back at the match and say, oh, I should have done this, I could have done that type of thing. You really just have to try to keep a positive attitude, try to move on from your losses. And even on the flip side, when you get wins, like don't get too cocky. Don't get too wrapped up in, oh man, we smashed those guys, we're just gonna roll through the finals. Get cocky, and maybe and either if you get like too cocky or you get too depressed and down on yourself, these things can both make you change your strategy in a bad way. You know what I mean? You kind of just have to approach each match, and in my opinion, each individual ball you play, just approach it the same way. You know what I mean? Have a solid strategy. Try not to get frustrated. Try to stay cool in your head. Just try to stay sharp mentally. Pay attention. And just do the best you can. You know what I mean? And try not to worry about the results. You know what I mean? You can worry about the results on the way home. The week after you get home, you're super happy, you're super depressed, whatever it might be, that's all fine. But, when you're there at the tournament, you really just have to work on executing and trying to get through the tournament the best you can and play the very best you can on each individual ball. And we could always, like I haven't been practicing as much as I would like. I'm going to play a lot of foosball this week, but I haven't been just sitting down practicing. I've been busy. I'm working. I got shit going on. You have stuff going on too. So it's like we don't all get to just tailor our entire life around preparing for this foosball tournament. You know what I mean? So it's like you're going to arrive at the tournament in whatever shape you're in, mentally and physically, and with how your game is lately. And you just have to do the best with that. And I think, I do think a big part of that is trying to stay cool mentally, just trying to have a positive attitude no matter how bad things are going or how good things are going. But obviously it's easier if things are going well, you know what I mean? But even if things are going well, like I said, things are going well, then you lose that one match and you're like, oh, my tournament's ruined. I mean, honestly, championship format makes that even worse personally, because like if you're in a championship format bracket, you lose that one match, there's no way to win the tournament. In a normal double elimination tournament, at least you have the hope of like, well, I could still come back and dip. That part is gone. And for I think mentally that makes it tougher to perform well in the losers bracket and try to fight back and get that third place. Even saying that pisses me off. But, it is what it is. These tournament formats are what they are, and you have to really just try to do your best and perform your very best at each step of the way. So, I guess I'll keep this video short for today, but, when you go into that, tournament next week, there's still a week left before TKO. You can still practice. You can still do a few things. Think about your game. Like, do I know what my strategy is going to be on each rod? Are there things I need to eliminate from my game? And just have a very simple game plan. Are you passing far wall and near wall and maybe just focus on one? Are you shooting a pull and a roller all the time and you're thinking like, well, maybe my roller's been better. I'm just going to try to really focus on just shooting my roller and not kind of confuse myself and make things too complicated where I'm switching back and forth between these shots. Whatever your strategy might be is fine, you know what I mean? And nobody's perfect. But, regardless, I just want to encourage you to try to go into the weekend knowing it's a long grind. There's a lot of tournaments. You're going to have some successes. You're going to have some failures probably. And, when those failures happen, you just can't let it wreck you for the rest of the tournament. You know what I mean? It's like, and it might be in your very best event or what you thought was going to be your best event. You go into it, you're all pumped about it. And then, first round, second round, whenever the bad thing happens, and you can't believe it. and it's a heartbreaker, dude. Like, you know, I've fucking cried after matches, and I thought I could win, or I was like, it slipped through my fingers. I can't believe I did this stupid thing, or I can't believe that bounced in. Like, those thoughts are going to go through your head, but those thoughts, like, aren't you. You know what I mean? Those thoughts are something that you experience. And I'm going psychologist kind of talk. I've watched some videos on, like, you know, just staying positive and stuff like that recently. But, like, the thoughts are something you experience. The thoughts, like, aren't like an actual thing that you need to deal with. You know what I mean? You can feel that thought come into your head and experience it, and you can let it go back out. It doesn't have to really ruin your whole day or ruin your whole weekend. So you know, for those of us that aren't like the number one player in the world, just a normal person going up to the tournament trying to perform your best, just know you're going to have some successes and failures, same as everybody else in the tournament. And the people that are going to have the best results at the end of the weekend, you know, one aspect of that will be, can you keep it under control mentally? You know, can you stay cool? You just lost this match, now they called you up on another match. Are you going to be able to reset and perform well in that next match? You know, you lose the first game. Can you mentally reset and you know, and come back and try to perform your very best in the next two games? So that's what I'm trying to encourage you to do. I think also getting some good sleep will help with that as well. Make sure you're eating, drinking water, getting some good sleep. Those things are all going to help you mentally as well. I think it's a good idea to get up and work out a little bit. Maybe it's not for everybody. Well, it is for everybody, but I understand if you're not doing it. But you know, all these things just kind of keep you mentally healthy. And you know, when you're looking at like 8 or more hours of foosball matches and or just kind of waiting and like anticipation that you're dealing with, it's a lot to deal with mentally. It's a lot more than you have to deal with on a daily basis, you know. And even if it is fun and you're looking forward to the tournament, there is an aspect of it that is nerve-wracking and terrifying, and you know, it can really mess you up mentally. So stay cool out there, stay positive, and you know, let's just try to do our best at TKO. We can worry about the results when we get home, and you know, just do your best that weekend and try to stay cool. Anyway, I hope this helps somebody out. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video.